All right,
Hey,
we're
we're
live.
live!
Oh, okay.
Let me unmute my mic. Hey, we're live. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Hearty Brews, our second ever in this format. I am Thomas. Please
Was
introduce yourself, my
okay.
compatriot.
I was like, was I next? Do I just start? Do I just go at it? Hi, I'm Nico DeGaio, and I'm the other half of Hardy Brews. And quick sound check to anybody in the chat. Can somebody let me know whether or not like both of us are audible and this is that everything's working? Because I don't want to be like right next to my microphone because then I'm half covered by it. But
Then you're like this.
then I'm like that. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like that. Anyway,
While we have folks in the audience letting us know if our sound is good, let's just hypothetically, Nico, what was your favorite toy when you were a child?
I bought a lot of Dragon Ball Z action figures. I know that's not the answer you're looking for. I know you want something that's more like quintessential.
No, I mean, action figures are definitely a thing. I remember the first Transformer action figure that I ever received. As a child, it was good time memories. Also, Light Bright was one of my favorite things.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Yes, indeed. Let's see here.
But anyway, the reason that I bring up toys is because obviously for those who celebrate, the Christmas season is upon us.
No.
And yeah, Yahweh, for realsies. And so it is with that in mind that we have decided to delve into the annals of history and dig up such classic Christmas toys as Tickle Me Elmo and Stretch Armstrong and the like. And we are about to turn them. We are about to turn them into adversaries for your Daggerheart campaigns.
So aggro. I'm sorry.
So.
I feel like I'm just like way over the top as far as what's necessary, but I'm jazzed. I'm DJ Jazzy Jeff right now. Why? Because I love being adversarial. I enjoy conflict. I enjoy being angry and hurting people's feelings. No, I'm just kidding. I do not enjoy any of those things. But I am down and ready to do this stream. I'm excited for that.
So for those of you who are not familiar with homebrewing adversaries for Daggerheart, there is a great individual who was partially involved, or was one of the writers involved in making Daggerheart. Right Night to Fight on Coffee, however you pronounce it. And they have created a free document for you to use for making custom adversaries. That is what I will be using, what we will be using throughout our time here on Hardy Brews to help us to determine what different attributes the adversary should have, their various thresholds and whatnot.
I love the whatnot. It really adds a lot of flavor to this whole situation.
Yes.
Because like it could just be what it is.
Also the who's and what's its.
And the who's and what's its. We mustn't forget about the who's and what's its. I am way overly concerned, and I realize that now with creating my silly little Discord arrangement of stuff. So I'm gonna, sorry, not Discord, OBS. OBS is a streaming software that y'all can't see, but I have like a super complicated window with all of these little knobs and sliders going on. And I'm trying to like make it so that I have that on screen, and then I have like my guide by Right Knight to Fight. Right Knight to Fight also just a really nice person. They're very active on the Daggerheart subreddit. They answer a lot of questions. They regularly update their doc. They as Dorkside said, they helped write the adversaries, and so they created this really, really great guide to making custom adversaries that we are using, and it offers just much more in-depth adversary creation guides and guidelines, I should say, for creating adversaries, whether they're colossal or social adversaries. Currently, we're using V1.6. If there's a newer version, oops. Oh well. But for now, I say, yeah, we're gonna make some adversaries. Dorkside, do you wanna take it away?
Sure. I got a little carried away in our prep. Normally, we would come into this with like very little created, but I got excited about the topic and decided that I was going to take it upon myself to start making these templates for these adversaries. So the first one we have is inspired by Tickle Me Elmo, and I have called it the Hee Hee Ha Ha.
I love that you made it a skulk.
Yes, it is a tier 1 skulk. The description is a child-sized bipedal monster covered in red fur with a distinct cry that sounds like laughter. And our motives for our hee hee ha ha are ambush, incapacitate, and devour the spoils. I've decided that these adversaries that we're working on kind of work in tandem as like misfit toys from Santa's workshop, perhaps, that have discarded like mistakes, let's say, of Santa's workshop. And
this is giving have you seen the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stop motion Christmas special?
Yes.
Okay, do you know maybe you do the Island of Misfit Toys?
Yep.
Okay, this is giving the Island of Misfit Toys.
So, as our skulk, we have a difficulty of 12, thresholds at a major of 5 and a severe of 10. I've done extensive talking with other creators for Daggerheart when it comes to adversaries as well, and so it kind of what you want your skulks to do is basically they're coming in to be like the distraction. They're the little annoying things that are running around and like getting in and getting out, while the big bruiser types are the ones that are like doling out a lot of damage. So it's all right if their thresholds aren't crazy. You know, they're not intended to last long.
So basically they're terrifying, but they're easily breakable.
Exactly. So we've got HP of 4, stress of 3, attack of +1. The attack I have made I called it a chuckle, and it is a close range attack. They are not actually melee combatants. It is a close range attack that deals 1d6 magic damage instead of the typical physical damage that you might see. This deals 1d6 magical damage.
So, tell me why. I guess because you've already created it, rather than giving input in the form of like, here's maybe a suggestion or an idea. I want to know your like reasoning, right, behind some of the choices that you've made. So, okay. So like, some questions I have are movement and tactics. Oh, and one thing I do enjoy about Daggerheart stat blocks is they always include like a quick little line about like how the creature fights, right, in other games, sometimes you have to kind of piece together based on the abilities. Like, okay, I'm doing a little sleuthing here. Oh, they want you to, play this creature like that. Versus in Daggerheart, it's like movement, motives and tactics, ambush, incapacitate, devour the spoils. So it's this idea that, like, this is what they're doing in combat. Here's, how we sort of envision the abilities that make this creature sort of coming together, or how we expect them to be employed. But I wanted to ask the chuckle. Why magic damage?
Because I haven't seen a whole lot of like especially tier 1 adversaries that deal magic damage as like their base like standard attack. And I think it's just an interesting little thing, like because they're like, obviously the conceit of Tickle Me Elmo is not tickling you. He is being tickled and is doing the laughing. So my thought was that the laughter itself is contagious, and that's what's going to come into the incapacitate part of its motives and tactics. Because that's another great thing about motives and tactics is if you sit there and figure out, if you're like having trouble figuring out features for your adversary, if you figure out its motives and tactics, then that can inform what their features are.
Okay. I like that. All right. So I see. Also, speaking of, we got features there. So action. Spend a fear. Yep. So that's not filled in. That was like, I just started like jotting down ideas about things that I might like, things that you might have, but I have not come up with any of the features yet. So that's where you and our audience comes in. Yes. So and this is, by the way, I'd like to share some of the sort of like mentality, right, behind what we were thinking as we came up with this show, right? Let me just, if I could just turn that there. Okay, cool. So the idea behind this this stream is we would like to, there we go. We would like to show people how easy it is. Basically, as many things that I do are, it's very reactive to stuff. And we wanted to address all the posts about people complaining that there's just like not enough content, and prove that two feeble-minded people like ourselves could create fun and interesting creatures and adversaries and environments and stuff. Because I think that especially with newer players, there's this idea that there's this massive canyon between like the bullshit that a bunch of GMs like me and Thomas come up with, Dorkside. Sorry, did I get you doxxed?
It's fine.
But they act like there's like, it's impossible to do this. Like, you have to have all this experience or a game design degree. And we wanted to show people, one, it's actually pretty easy. And two, you can do it too. In fact, you're already doing it. If you say anything in the chat, it'd be cool if you did. All two of the people we have right now. Thank you for being here, two people. So I think one of them might
two
even
is
be
better
me.
than none. Thank you for being here.
Yes. So yeah, we want to come up with some cool ideas. I also we're going to be bouncing ideas between each other ourselves. So some ideas that I have off the top of my head. As a fear action, I like the idea. What's something terrifying that Elmo would do? Oh, thank you. I'm like, what's something terrifying that Elmo might do? Tickle Me Elmo specifically. Because I didn't have a tickle. I understand the concept is like you tickle them and it has like sensors or something and it goes. But like, what else did it do?
That was literally it.
Oh.
The child touched its tummy and it went.
That's horrific. I feel like spend a fear to cause somebody to like mark stress or something. You know what I mean?
I think it also said Elmo likes.
That's creepy. I'm sorry, it's not creepy, it's so fun. If you played with the Tickle Me Elmo. Grabby
So fun
hands.
and whimsical.
Oh, you know what? Maybe there's like a spend a fear to make all players in close range make like an instinct reaction roll. And okay, we got creepy eyes and grabby hands. I like that. Thank you, Jess Valor. So we'll do this one, and then I think we'll come up with something for. Actually, this is inspired by the creepy eyes, because I was like, what's something creepy that Tickle Me Elmo would do? Staring into its little shiny beady eyes. Spend a fear. As a reaction, actually. So as a reaction, if you hit Tickle Me Elmo, right? It reacts by doing some kind of like did Tickle Me Elmo dance? Am I imagining a dancing Elmo?
I think there was also a dancing Elmo. I don't think
Separate
Tickle
thing.
Me
Okay.
Elmo danced. Yeah.
Okay, so like as a reaction, spend a fear, and then all targets within close range have to mark a stress, right? As its haunting chuckles, as its chuckles haunt your mind. By the way, I normally have like a week or two between sessions, so the wording is normally a lot cleaner by the time my players interact with the adversaries I create. But you know, we're doing this impromptu, and also my mommy made me pumpkin spice shortbread cookies. So if you see me eating on stream, I was eating on the last stream too. But if you see me eating on stream, it's my mommy's homemade cookies.
Okay, so what was the last part of it? I have when the hee hee ha ha marks one or more hit points, spend a fear.
Mm-hmm.
To what?
To cause all targets within close range to make an instinct reaction roll or mark a stress. Also, hi Teal. Oh no, tea leaves. Hi Tea. Leaves.
Do we think we can leave the reaction roll off and instead have it target just the creature, like just the creature that hit it? So like when the hee hee ha ha marks one or more hit points, spend a fear to cause the attacker to mark one stress.
There you go.
Now, what could be really terrifying is if we... No, I mean, the most that I would do at tier 1 would be like 1d2. Like flip a coin and it you know, you either get one or two stress. Yeah, we'll just do one stress.
Tea leaves, and also Jess Valor is giving some fantastic ideas, so I think we should probably honor that by designing the next feature around their suggestion. But tea leaves, yes, we are not just designing Christmas themed adversaries. We're actually designing specifically toy themed adversaries. You know, Santa's workshop, right? So if there are any toys from your childhood that you'd like to see turned into an adversary to fight, or that you think would be fun to fight in a Daggerheart game, throw out your suggestions. We'd love to hear them. And so Just Valor wrote, perhaps the tickling is a pro for the players, but if you tickle Elmo too much, he could fall down and cause some kind of athletics, or I guess oh, Jess, I was 100% thinking of Jack in the Box. That was gonna be mine. But sorry. I just saw in the chat that they suggested Jack in the Box, and we were watching Jess is my fiance. Thank you so much. I love you so much for tuning into my stream, from our bedroom and across the wall.
Thank you, Jess.
We love you, Jess. I love you, Jess. Thomas likes you. Not likes you, you know. But anyway, but yeah. So like a athletics reaction to avoid being hit by Elmo as they like thrash around from being tickled. I think that's great. But we were watching Elf last night, and there's that scene in the beginning where he's like not properly made or hasn't made enough. I think it was like Etch a Sketches or something, and so they send him to test. They send Will Ferrell to test or Buddy to test the Jack in the Boxes to see if they work or not. I love that everyone here thought of Jack in the Box. Jess, Tea Leaves, myself. So Jack in the Box it is. Okay. For now, right at this moment, what we're doing is we're going through some of the ones that Dorkside.
So I can totally leave those ones for later. I'd rather engage the audience, but let's finish up the hee hee ha ha first.
100%. Hee hee ha ha, the red chuckler. Okay. The crimson chuckler. The scarlet chuckler. Because I think Elmo's more scarlet. Okay, so... Ooh, it's officially part of the name. Hee hee ha ha, the scarlet chuckler. Unsettling laughter. Love that. When the hee hee ha ha marks 1 or more HP, spend a fear to cause the attacker to mark a stress. All right. And then I liked that idea that they had. Let's do like laughing fit or fit of laughter, right?
All right. So fit of laughter, is that's an action?
Yeah, you know what? Let's make it an action. Since we already have a reaction. Oh my god, fit of slaughter. Yeah, no, that's great. I don't know if you can see it in the... Oh, sorry, you're streaming on Twitch, right? While I'm streaming on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm on Twitch.
Okay, so somebody in the YouTube chat put laughter with like a parentheses S right before laughter.
Oh, yeah. Slaughter, yeah.
Yeah. So, fit of slaughter. As an action, something like it starts laughing uncontrollably and thrashing around, and erratically thrashing around, and then it's like, all enemies or do they say creatures in Daggerheart? See, all targets.
I'll be honest. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's often targets. I don't think I've seen creatures.
Yeah, the only other thing I'm seeing besides target is allies and PCs. So we could say all targets within close range must make a reaction roll.
All right, and our hee hee ha ha is marking a stress for this action.
Sure. Yeah, we can say it marks a stress. Yeah. Ooh, it's coming together.
What type of reaction roll?
Strength. Well, what do you think? Strength or like agility to jump out of the way? Or strength to like block it?
So what is the goal? What is the end result? Like what is happening? That it goes into a fit of laughter.
Or take blank physical damage, right? Because
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever tickled a child, but they will kick the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. Just suggested agility.
Yeah, I was gonna say agility.
Yeah.
Although strength also does fit. Maybe we can. I mean, there's precedent. You could just say strength or agility.
There you go. Also, the fun thing about homebrew is, if you're just homebrewing, like, unless you're publishing a book, and even if you are publishing a book, like, Daggerheart is still in its infancy. Go nuts. Who cares about, I mean, sort of care about the wording, but don't, like, let it throttle your creativity, you know?
Let's see. Do you have the right knight to fight?
Mm-hmm.
Doc pulled up.
Yeah.
Can you look at the skulk like average damage for me?
Yes. All right, let's see. I got range. There we go. Skulk. That's tier 2. Let me scroll. There we go. Skulks. All right. Tier 1. Minor to major damage, but features will usually do more damage. They tend to use a d6 to d8 damage dice. Let's see. Difficulty. What's the difficulty on this thing? 12? All right, so
Yeah.
their average damage, we're looking at something like maybe a d4 plus 4, or a d6 plus 2, or a d8 plus 3. These are the potential dice pools for damage. And it is a feature, and it does cost stress.
Yeah, let's say this is for big damage because you're only going to be doing 3 of these. It only has 3 stress.
Right.
And then, if the players do something that forces that to mark stress, then even less. So
Yeah.
let's say one. What was it? What was the D8? 1d8 plus what?
D8 plus 3.
There we go. Fit of slaughter. Action. Mark a stress to cause all targets within close range to mark a stress. Sorry, typo.
Also, I'd like to, once again, as far as the people in our YouTube chat, I would like to thank Jess Valor and Tea Leaves for the suggestions you guys are making as we go through this.
Go Jess Valor and Tea Leaves.
Woo! Go Jess Valor and Tea Leaves.
Close range to it was make. I don't know why I thought Mark. I'm looking at Marcus Stress. Anyway, make a strength or agility reaction roll, taking 1d8 plus 3 physical damage on a failure.
Mm-hmm. Can't spell slaughter without laughter. That's right. I'm also gonna... Oh, Jesus. I'm falling apart here. I'm gonna take a picture of my screen to prove how very much definitely I'm doing the darn thing.
All right, I am good with that. I think an action and a reaction, maybe a passive you could throw on there if you can think of something for a passive, but truthfully, this is good for a homebrewed adversary. Also, just something that I'm going to throw out there for those of you who are intimidated by making homebrewed adversaries. Literally, the thing that I do 99% of the time, unless I really specifically have a thing that I want to make, is I will just go find a block in the book that is kind of similar to the thing that I'm using, and I just change the flavor text.
There you go. That's... Yeah. I mean, that's... Yeah.
I was running a one shot, and it was a reimagining of a D&D module, and it called for Sturges, and obviously there's no Sturges that have been made for Daggerheart, but I was like, you know what's kind of close to a Sturge? A bat.
True. True.
Cheers. That's the
Is the
sound
cheers
of
like a
catchphrase
following thing? Oh.
That was
it's
the
a
sound of
Twitch
somebody
thing on
following.
your end. Okay,
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
cool.
Thanks for the follow tea leaves.
There we go. Yeah, thank you. What was I gonna say? Yeah, we're this is titled Hearty Brews 00.2 because we're still figuring out some of how this all works. You know what I mean? As far as like learning that sometimes if Dorkside shouts cheers, it's because we got a follower on Twitch. Let's see.
All right, so we can move on now to the Jack in the Box if you all want, and we can do one from scratch.
All right, let's see here. And I'm just advertising to the universe that I'm doing this. Okay, cool. Oh crap, I misspelled. No, I misspelled something. Anyway, I'll cry about that later.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know me, old cryo to Gaia. Oh shit, that rhymed. Okay, cool.
All right, so I just copied the stat block that we made for the hee hee ha ha, and we'll just go through and edit the stuff as we come up with it. So let's since we're making something wholly brand new, let's talk about like the descriptions of the various adversary types. That way we can figure out what adversary type our Jack in the Box adversary is going to be.
Okay, so I think technically, right, in the most, let's see, I found their guidelines in the book pretty helpful as well. Also, Mike Underwood's video on the topic have been great. Yes, Mike Underwood has had some fantastic videos about this, and then Tea Leaves, I'm not sure how recently you hopped in into the stream, but you, Right Knight to Fight, who is the person who wrote the guide that we're using, they're actually also one of the writers, game designers of Daggerheart, who had a hand in writing the adversaries for Daggerheart. And they said that when the homebrew kit came out, even before they had released this guide already, but then the homebrew kit came out and they explained that there's a lot of stuff in the homebrew kit for creating adversaries, or a lot of stuff as well in the actual core rulebook that apparently they cut out to make room for other stuff. And so in response to so many people wanting to create homebrew adversaries and not feeling like the book did a good enough job of giving that guidance, you, Right Knight to Fight, wrote this fantastic, much more in-depth guide on creating custom adversaries. So if you type in you right, as in like the correct right knight to fight, as in you're like, which fighter person do I fight who is wearing armor? You go, they are the right knight to fight. And you type in, I think it's Guide to Making Custom Adversaries is the name of the doc. Yeah. And you can get it for free on the Ko-fi. I really don't know how to pronounce that, and it's going to drive me nuts later. But anyway, fantastic guide, and they have a lot of elucidation about other stuff. But anyway, so to answer your question, we should do a Hordes one next. Tickle Me Elmo would definitely be a skulk, but I'd like to, maybe we try something else here. Maybe, not Tickle Me Elmo. Jack in the Box would definitely be a skulk. But let's make them a bruiser.
A bruiser. Okay, so bruisers are tough and deliver powerful attacks.
Jess says it is pronounced like coffee. Let's see. So, oh, I did not realize that they are. I just now found out that you, Right Knight to Fight, is I need to stop saying you. They created Incredible Creatures, which if you haven't bought that yet or looked at that, it's this fantastic Daggerheart supplement on I think Drive Through RPG, but probably better if you get it directly from them. Incredible Creatures was this fantastic book that is by Alan Tucker and Chris Davidson. That's Right Knight to Fight's real name, Chris Davidson. They found cool art, right? And rather than trying to make adversaries and then go, oh no, how are we gonna find art for this specific thing we conceptualized? They went online, found incredible art, and all the artists are credited and stuff. But based off of this totally not AI art, then said, how could we translate this super cool art piece that is inspiring us into an adversary for Daggerheart? So that's what Incredible Creatures is. You should check it out. Okay. So Bruiser. Attacks can hit major, usually, and severe when rolling well. They tend to use a D10 to D12 damage die. Features include attacks that hit multiple enemies and move PCs around the battlefield. Okay. Common features include ramp up and momentum. Let's see, what does ramp up do? You must spend a fear to spotlight the adversary. When spotlighted, they can make their standard attack against all targets within range. Ooh. That's interesting. And then momentum is a reaction. When the adversary makes a successful attack against a PC, you gain a fear. Yeah, well, Jack in the Boxes are terrifying, so I think we give them momentum.
Momentum it is.
And if you want, I can copy and paste that.
That would be fantastic.
Let's see. And then we want to make this not bold. We want spend a fear to be bold. Adversary. Okay. What do we name this besides just Jack in the Box? because that's important.
We had the hee-hee-ha-ha. Now, what do we name our Jack in the Box monster?
A child size. Oh, right. And the flavor text. We got to change the flavor text. We'll do that in a second. But yes, we have a tier 1 bruiser, Jack in the Box, a bouncing boingo. Now that sounds like a pogo stick. Well, Jack in the Box doesn't exactly sound like it's just some it pops out or anything. Yeah, so Boingo Billy. Fuck it, Weeball. Let's see. Copy. Paste. By the way, most of the time when I'm creating adversaries, kind of like Dorkside, inspiration just strikes. It goes, oh, Sturgis. You know what? That's just a bat. With a different head shape. And in this case, you know, if I got the idea for like a Jack in the Box thing, I would have so much time to do this. But today I don't. Today I'm on a live camera. Boingo Billy. Or maybe there's something else besides box. Let's see. Cratchit in the casket. Boxing Billy. Ooh. So Jack in the Box. Let's see, Boxing Billy. Because I was also thinking alliteration is fun. But then I'll become a one-trick pony. Well, let's not waste time on that. Let's not let's not hyperfixate on that, right? Because also, if you've ever created a character for literally anything ever, you can spend hours just trying to pick a name. And we shouldn't get stuck on that. So for now, we'll just stick with Boingo Billy, tier 1 bruiser, seemingly mundane box with a crank that explodes to reveal a springy clown. That's already terrifying. Motives: beat down your courage. They scare the crap out of me. Intimidate with size, because they're big. Yes, it is the hardest part about making anything. Do you know how long I went trying to figure out what my name was going to be? None at all, because I was named this when I was born. Okay. Let's see. I'll let you... Let's see. Okay, so for difficulty, our guide says... I'm sure this will all be more streamlined later. Let's see. When scaling an adversary, there's no direct formula. These do. I see. So if you're trying to scale an adversary to make him tougher, gotcha. Okay. So for a bruiser, it says tier 1. Our difficulty is going to be 12 to 14. They can be 12. We can make them 12. I don't mind if they're 12. And then thresholds, major and severe is 7 their major threshold is between 7 and 9. Do we know, as far as thresholds go, do they scale directly?
As far as, like, between tiers?
No. Like, if I choose a major threshold of 7, because it says
Oh,
the range.
is it always double? Not necessarily always.
Yeah, because I see here, like the major threshold can be anywhere from 7 to 9, and then the severe threshold can be anywhere from 13 to 15. Is it like, if it's like it's always got to be 7 and 13, and then like 8 and 14, and then 9 and 15? You know what I mean? Like they're always that six numbers apart.
No, not necessarily.
Cool. Fuck it, we ball. I say that their major threshold is 9 and their severe threshold is 13. And the reason for that is I feel like it's harder to get a good hit on them, but once you do have a good hit on them, it's not that much harder to really break them,
Hell yeah, that makes sense.
HP anywhere from 5 to 7. 5, because once you break the spring too, you know what I mean? Then a Jack in the Box without a spring is just done. Oh, you know what though? They're in a box.
They're in a box.
They're in a box. Okay, no, their major thresholds. I'm gonna fix their thresholds. I got you, because I'm janking you around here. It's gonna be.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Yeah. We're gonna make it go up by 1, and for the HP, yeah, we're gonna make the difficult. That's what it is. It's hard to hit them. It's really hard to hit them because they're in a box. So their difficulty is 14. And their thresholds are going to be high because I'll say their major threshold is high because they're hard, it's hard to really get a good hit on them. And I'll keep the severe at 13. Okay. So it's hard to hit them in the first place. When you do hit them, it's hard to really get a good hit on them. But once you do get a good hit on them, it's pretty easy to break them. So that's why their major is 9 and their severe is 13. And who knows, maybe in several episodes of this later. Ooh, retract feature for sure. I love that people in the chat are working together, by the way. This is the heart of TTRPGs, is cooperation and collaboration. Okay.
It's why we came up with this show.
Yeah, stress, we'll leave them at 3. HP, we'll do what it is. Average damage. So attack. Yeah, is there guidelines on how much like their attack bonuses anywhere?
Yeah, it should be in the Right Knight to Fight doc.
Yeah, you know what? I just completely skipped the entire column.
0 to 2.
I say, I think they have a +2 to attack. Because they pop out and they really just boom, right? Head bash, very close. How do we feel about that, chat?
It's not really because like you've got that spring, so you've got a little bit of distance. So maybe not just melee, but very, very close. They're just spraying out of the box and slam their head into them.
Ooh. Okay. Okay, well, so they have some really good ideas for features in my chat. I'll tell you in a second, but let's go ahead and do the damage here. And the damage for a bruiser. Oh, man. Okay. We'll do that. We'll make it a little more swingy. It's a D12. Oops. Sorry, you already had it. My bad. I'm not going to touch it. You edit it. I'm not touching it. A D12 plus 2. Okay. Experience. Ooh, what kind of experience does a Jack in the Box have?
Well, you got it right there in your motives and tactics. Intimidate with size, so intimidation +2.
Oh, yeah. Because they're terrifying. Okay, cool. All right. So features. We already gave it ramp up, and I'm thinking, you know, it's like, because it boings out and it's not just like a boom, right? It's like a, you know, it kind of swings its big ass head around. And then let's see. Standard attack against all targets within range. Okay. And then action. Oops. And let me see. We don't need... Okay. We don't need these, like, dashes here. Oops. Okay. All right. I'm thinking... Okay. That was the one. Retract. Okay, yeah, definitely a retract feature. Maybe like... It wouldn't be Marcus Stress.
What if we did so the retract feature could be our reaction to it taking damage, and you when it takes damage it retracts, and then, like Tea Leaf said in your chat, it can increase the damage thresholds. So maybe the base damage thresholds, we make the lower thresholds, and then the retract feature increases the damage thresholds.
Yeah, no, you're right. So let me change that. So 7, and then 13, and then reaction. So retraction, reaction. Let me also pull up what some of these adversaries look like. So I can write them out the way they look in the book a little bit more. Okay, so feature dash action semicolon. There we go.
What if we made this reaction Marcus Stress?
Yeah.
Marcus Stress, because it's stressed out from getting hit, right? So it's marking that stress to retract into the box. It increases its thresholds, and it regains 1 hit point, and it increases its thresholds until it's spotlit again.
Yeah. So, yes. So when Boingo Billy makes marks 1 or more HP, Marcus Stress to retract Billy into its box. Boom. Yeah. While retracted, its damage thresholds regains 1 HP. Oh, that might be devastating. I think.
Well, that's why we make it a stress feature. It limits the amount of times it can do it.
Oh.
So you make those more powerful features stress features, so that they're like not too overpowered, right? So you make it a stress feature, so it limits the amount of times it can do it. So they really only do, like I said, if it's got 3 stress and it spends 1 stress to do this, and then your ranger, because I know rangers can force people to mark stress because I'm playing a ranger. I know. So if your ranger has the adversary marked as its quarry or whatever it's called, focus as its ranger focus, and you forces it to mark stress, it can only do it 1 more time, and then let's say somebody else does something that forces it to mark another stress. It only did it that 1 time. So the more powerful, more devastating features you want to make your stress, the ones that cause stress.
So what we'll say is Billy regains 1 HP, and their damage thresholds increase to and then what were the top? It was 9 and 15.
Yeah, something like that. 9 and 15.
Cool. And it says, let's see. Targets are chosen by the attacker. Ba, 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 ba. Does it say anything about contractions? Like they are? Oh, I've decided I don't care. Okay. Until they are spotlighted again. There we go, retract. When Boingo Billy marks 1 or more HP, mark a stress to retract Billy into its box. Billy regains 1 HP, and their damage thresholds increase to 9 and 9/15 until they are spotlighted again.
Woohoo!
And
now we got a yak in the box.
Yes, and then tea leaves really quick. I like their suggestion for a name. So, biding my time as the name for the retract feature.
Heck yeah!
Thank you, tea leaves. You have helped us create Boingo Billy.
Boingo Billy, and yeah, it's just that easy. What did it take us? 25 minutes.
No, we spent about 30 minutes making the adversaries.
But
and also,
but we were also chit chatting and stuff. If you're really working on it, like
yeah, when you're in the
your
zone,
nose to the grindstone.
when you're in the zone, you don't stop to have whole conversations with random people in the chat, or go on tangents like me when my ADHD meds were off during the stream. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, everybody. Each of us, we both had an adversary that Dorkside showed up with and said, hey, here's what I got. What can we do to spiffy this up? And then we also went ahead and said, I have nothing made up because I have ADHD and executive dysfunction, and I did not prepare or suddenly become hyper-focused. So I have nothing. Can somebody please help me come up with ideas? And the chat totally did. We came up with Boingo Billy based on a Jack in the Box. And if you didn't know, Hee Hee Ha Ha, the Scarlet Chuckler, is based off of Tickle Me Elmo.
And just for a peek at the things that I had been working on, we've got the Wobble, which is based on Weebles. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a toy from the past that are
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Yeah, it's like a rotund little figurine that wobbles around but doesn't topple over. So
it was an inflatable punching bag that had water on the bottom, so it would just like correct itself. Like you'd punch it and it'd be like whoop, and then it would just like balance itself again.
And reach Buff Guy, which is Stretch Armstrong analog. So yeah, I'll polish these up, and we'll get these posted for you all. Just a reminder, everything that we create here on Hearty Brews is 100% absolutely free for you all to use in your Daggerheart campaigns. We will post links to the docs once they've been polished up and everything has been finalized, and they are absolutely free for you to use as test materials in your Daggerheart games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it for the show tonight. Um, we are going to be taking a 3-week hiatus. I know that we just started ramping up, but we are taking a 3-week hiatus because of the holidays, and because well, I'll let you tell the internet if you feel like telling the internet why we won't be here on the 7th.
Oh, January the 7th is my birthday, and I'd like to spend that time eating tres leches cake with my loved ones. And I could do that on stream, but I would rather eat tres leches cake not on camera, because I will gorge myself on that tres leches cake. Oh, it's gonna get dirty. And I don't want to do that publicly, so.
Yeah, this is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, no, probably not. But yeah, before we officially end the stream, would you please tell the audience at home? By the way, I think that one of the things we're gonna do over those 3 weeks is come up with like a bit more of a clear structure, right, for how we're gonna format these episodes. But we're still figuring out a formula. But would you please, Dorkside, tell everybody, not just who you are if they didn't already know, but where people can find you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I am Thomas. I also go by Dorkside on the internets. You can find me on Blue Sky at DorksideVO. Pretty much anywhere on the internet at DorksideVO. And I'm also the GM in residence for Get Your Crit Together, which is kind of a collaborative storytelling RPG, TTRPG group that plays stuff that's not D&D.
Yeah, and I'm Nico de Gallo. I am a professional actor, voice actor, as well as a professional GM, and I am... Did I forget something? Oh, right. And I'm a professional burlesque host. I host for the Bat City Bombshells and Erotic Queer Burlesque. We actually have a Christmas-themed show coming up, although it takes place a little bit after Christmas. It is the Slut Cracker show, because that's just a hilarious pun. But yeah, I'm all over the internet. You can find me at my Linktree, linktree.com/It's Nico de Gallo, ITSNICODEGALLO. You can find my Blue Sky, my Instagram. I have 2 Instagrams. One's like a more forward-facing, family-friendly one, and then the other one is a more Heiny side, less family-facing one. And then I'm also on YouTube and TikTok. And I do a sort of every couple of months charity streaming show where my friends and I play TTRPGs on OnlyFans, and we strip, doing it like burlesque style for tips, and the stripping allows us to impose disadvantage on our enemies or give ourselves advantage. And the tips, we split them evenly amongst performers and then make an additional cut as if there was another person at our table and give the extra money to charity. So if that's something that you're comfortable with, you should tune into that too. It's very fun. Aside from that, I have 2 upcoming actual play games that I'm going to be starting. One of which is going to be on OnlyFans. It is Adversaries Academy, which is exactly what it sounds like. And it's a university, it's a college, it's not high school. We're not going to be weird like that. And then the other one is the Caldera Chronicles, which I'm going to be splitting between OnlyFans and doing that like a burlesque version on there, as well as a totally safe for work version that we will be putting on YouTube and stuff. And Thomas is part of that table. They're not part of the OnlyFans half of it, but they are going to be on the safe for work version. Yeah, Thomas, do you? Well, I'll just tell them they're playing a ranger. I'm going to be the GM. They're going to be a ranger at my table. and that is going to be under the Spicy Dice banner, which, FYI, I'm also going to be a player in one of their tables under the Get Your Crit Together banner. Cohesion, collaboration. We'd love to see it.
Facts. I don't think that got any shorter from the last time.
No, and that's actually something that we're going to have to write out too.
We may need to write you a script.
We're also very prolific creators. You know what I mean? Like, we do a lot of shit. So is that really my fault? I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much to everybody for tuning in to Hearty Brews. I had a lot of fun, and it was a great time working with you, Dorkside. Thank you so much for having me and collaborating with me as well.
Absolutely, and thank you to Jess Velour and Tea Leaves for hanging out in the chat with us over on Nico's stream, and Tea Leaves for popping over to Twitch and letting me know that somehow my microphone got muted and I fixed it.
Oh, thank God. All right, everybody take care and have yourself a happy winter holidays and a happy new year.